What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the most confusing things about Britain. As Americans, we have lots of questions about what life is really like in Britain. So today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked non British people of Reddit, what about Britain baffles you? So I just thought it would be fun to go through some of the most asked questions about British culture and maybe even get some answers about some of this British stuff. So let's take a look, starting with how small it is. Yeah, I mean, it really, I don't know if baffling is the right word, but it's kind of mind boggling to me how much smaller Britain is as a country compared to the United States. And this is truly something that Americans do not think about. This absolutely blew my mind when I started thinking about this. I love this one. Living on a little island like that blows my mind. Yes, exactly. I read somewhere that people aren't willing to drive like an hour to see their family. Like, I used to drive an hour to school every day. I don't know, it's always been strange. Is this true? British people out there, do you find this to be true? Because Britain is small, and you can get to a lot of places in like a couple of hours, does that mean you view travel time differently than Americans? Maybe, because it's like in America, sometimes if you're going to see your family or extended family that can live all over the United States, you know that traveling to them is going to take like 5, 6, 7 hours of driving if you live in different states. And that's if the states are relatively close to each other. If you live across the United States on opposite ends, then like good luck. You'd be driving for like 24 hours or more. You just fly at that point. So the point here is like, do British people view traveling differently in Britain? Because stuff is much more accessible. Yes. I wouldn't necessarily call that a confusing thing about Britain. It's just kind of like a really cool thing about Great Britain that Americans never really think about. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain even because in America you just grow up here and you're so used to everything being so far apart. And your home state is almost like your own little country in a funny way. The strange city, county, province names, the strange British names, stuff like Barton in the Beans. What? What is this? Barton in the Beans is a name for a hamlet in Leicestershire. so, okay, I think I understand here. Yes, I can translate this American train of thought. Just the names in Britain, like the naming conventions, like Barton in the Beans. Also, there's a lot of shires, like this is Leicestershire. There's a lot of shires and stuff. We have some weird city names where I'm from in Bucksnort, Tennessee. But Barton in the Beans is insane. Is Barton in the Beans a real name of a place in Britain? Because I've never heard that before. But I've learned a little bit about British geography, and it is definitely true that there's some hard to pronounce names, and just some some stuff like blank in the blank, Barton in the bean. I've never heard that one before. That is a little confusing. I have no idea why the naming of certain places is so different in Britain than America. That's a little confusing. What else is confusing about Britain? That everything is pudding. Yes! Yes. Seriously. This is really confusing. This might be one of the best ones so far. In various different videos that I've done, trying to learn about British food, I'm still to this day confused about British pudding. I've seen pictures of like Yorkshire pudding. It looks like bread or a roll or something. Pudding in Britain is nothing like pudding in the United States. That is what I've learned. Can anyone clarify this in these comments? I was so confused the first time I went to dinner in London. The waiter said, "We have 4 different puddings tonight." I was like, wow, how odd that this restaurant has various flavors of pudding for dessert. Yes, because, yes, Americans will understand this. Like, pudding in America is a semi-solid, uh, like, something you eat with a spoon out of a little cup, and it's usually chocolate. A chocolate semi-solid that you eat with a spoon, kind of like Jello, but a little different. Whereas in Britain, it's like literally everything is pudding. I don't understand it. It's confusing. That's a good one. What else is confusing about Britain? How you can be so proper and so punk at the same time. So punk? Yes, in America, we have a stereotype of British people as being very proper, a bit posh, polite, and using, I don't know, fancy words sometimes, like a query instead of a question. Who's ever heard of such a thing? So proper, yes, but so punk. Brits out there. Do you ever hear yourself referred to as punk? You're so punk. I like this. I'm gonna put this on my gravestone. You're so proper and so punk. So punk? Like as in hardcore? Like, I don't know, kind of cool, kind of edgy. How can you be so proper and so edgy at the same time? I don't know, Brits. I don't know how you do it. That's a compliment, I think. I wouldn't say this baffles me exactly. I assume there is a good reason for this, but why do the lane markers on streets go from straight to wavy at times? The lane markers, the British lane markers, become wavy at certain times? Wait, what? I've never seen this before. I'm not even sure what we're really talking about. Pedestrian crossing? The wavy lines are unique to crossings, so they stand out. It's also illegal to park on wavy lines. The road marking lines are wavy? I don't know why I'm doing this. This helps me understand somehow, cope with this new information. I didn't know this. That's not a thing in the United States. That if I had never heard about this, seeing that for the first time, I would have been so confused. So wavy? The lane markers get wavy? I never heard about that. Okay. I'm a Brit who's lived in Australia since the year 2000. Okay, like 20 years. When I go back to Australia, I'm baffled by that Going Home song that plays around 5 p.m. on the BBC radio? What is this? Where people call in to recite their name, where they're from, and then go, "And I'm going home." What? This is absolutely the first time I'm ever hearing about this. This sounds amazing and confusing. I don't know if it's still a thing, but who the heck is calling into this? Huh? This is the BBC radio. At 5 p.m. when you're going home from work? There's a going home song, and I'm going home. Home. Huh? Do British people know what I'm talking about? Because I have no idea what we're talking about. Um, what? Okay. Never heard of that before. Fair enough. I'm properly confused at this point, which is good. This is the most confusing things about Britain. Racing motorcycles at 200 miles an hour on a road that's 8 feet wide, and with a stone wall a few inches past that, you guys are nuts. Are motorcycles popular in Britain? 200 miles an hour. We're exaggerating, right? I have heard that the roads are more narrow in the UK. I've actually heard that. Um, the race on the Isle of Man is incredible and incomparable. Driving down a narrow country road 1 hour? What? At 180 miles an hour? Huh? This is a thing? Is there a race in Britain? Are we talking about a specific race? Hold on. What is this? The TT race? Is that what we're talking about? This sounds awesome. Wait, I kind of want to see this. 200 miles an hour down an 8-foot wide road? I'm going to have to look that up sometime. That actually sounds really interesting and dangerous. What's some more confusing things about Britain? How such a small nation with very limited resources and such a small military is able to hold a large stake of geopolitics and global economy. Absolutely. Absolute. This is a great one. This confuses me a lot as well. No disrespect to the UK, but how has Great Britain been able to accomplish so much throughout history with, you're on an island, you have limited resources, only your population is only so big, so your military can only be so big. Yet, the UK is such an important part of global geopolitics and like the economy, the global economy, still to this day, going back forever, like the British Empire. Forget about it. Don't get me started. How did Britain do all that? Because like it would make more sense to me if Britain was gigantic and there were so many people. The population was huge with tons of land. And it's like, no, none of that is really true. How the heck did you become so successful as a country? Really, it's kind of baffling. It's kind of incredible. They had a good navy when navies really mattered. This is effectively most of the reason. Really? Especially like back in the day when it wasn't so easy to navigate around the world. Having a navy, ships, that determined who won? I didn't know about any of that. That's actually really interesting. Why didn't the Prime Minister just call the office to find out which address was Natalie's? Do you not have an HR department? Huh? Okay, this is not the first time in this video that I am just completely, baffled. I had no idea. No clue what we're talking about here. Why didn't the Prime Minister call the office to find out which address was Natalie's? Who's Natalie? What? Is there any more explanation? No. DPA 98 back then? What? Huh? What? What? Who? Why are they trying to find Natalie's address? What's at Natalie's house? Huh? Why does the Prime Minister want to get there? What? What? I don't know. No idea. I don't. It doesn't surprise me. I think there's going to be a few things in this discussion that I have no idea. I'm really counting on British people out there to explain and set the record straight on some of this stuff, please. I grew up in a town in Australia. The next town from us was 45 minutes away, even going 100 kilometers an hour. Flying over to Britain, I saw loads of little villages within walking distance of each other. It just seems odd. Why did they never amalgamate or combine into one large town? So, in Britain, you have lots of little villages, very close to each other, like you can walk to each other. Why not just combine to become a large town? I don't know. I don't really know. Is there a reason for that? I mean, I don't know either way, but it's just kind of nice that Britain has a bunch of little villages, and that's just kind of cool. But is there a reason why not to join? I don't know. Can anyone say? For some towns and villages, there are zoning laws that prevent them from doing that. Other times, it's because they're just a bunch of small farms and cottages built near each other over the years that have bits in between that have been filled in. I guess there's just been no real reason to do it, or in some cases, laws preventing it. I like the little British villages. Never change. Why do you use this sign for speed cameras? I always expected this guy to be just up ahead. Oh boy, I don't know what this link is gonna link me to, but let's see. Oh, okay. It's nothing bad. So this is a sign for speed cameras? Huh. You actually have a dedicated sign with a little camera picture on it. Okay. And then I always expect this guy to be up ahead. What? Oh, this page is not found? Huh. Oh, I can't even see. Oh, that ruins this. What? That's Camera Jim. We've been employing him to keep track of the speeders for some time now. So it was a picture of some weird guy. I don't know why they have a problem with this photo, honestly. What? I don't understand the joke. It's just a picture of a camera. I mean, it's a sign that doesn't exist in America. I would have, if I saw that sign for the first time, I would be like, "What is this? Like, what is this for? What's happening? Is that a robot up ahead?" But this person thinks like there's some weird guy in the bushes with a camera spying on you or something. The question, "You all right?" is not actually them asking if you're okay. This one must be responsible for confusing so many Americans that travel to Britain. The British greeting. You all right? It is so funny how this makes zero sense in America. As a matter of fact, this would make Americans like defensive, like, am I all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? What? Why? Is something wrong? Huh? Like that's actually a very good one. That would confuse the vast majority of Americans. We say like, "What's up? How you doing? What's going on? How's it going?" Well, never. You all right? You all right? In America, that means like, are you okay? Like, you look ill. It's yes. The fact that they can drive in a tunnel underwater to get to mainland Europe. Like, we need one of those. Oh my gosh, I did a video on this a while back. There's a tunnel from Great Britain, I think England, to Europe. There's actually a literal tunnel you can take, and there's like a train in it. That truly is cool. Like, I did not believe that when I heard that. I was like, a tunnel under the water? Like, what? That sounds like insane, but it's true. That's actually really cool. I am French, been living in London for a year. What struck me was how friendly pubs are. If I go out to a bar in Paris, I will talk to no one, and no one will talk to me. In London, it takes 30 seconds to find some mates to chat with. Man, that just makes the UK sound kind of nicer, friendlier. And pubs, the existence of pubs in the UK is truly a special phenomenon as well. This was, I don't know. This left me a little more confused than I began this discussion. That's okay. I think I did also learn a few things about British culture that I didn't know. But yeah, these were definitely some of the most confusing things about Britain that most Americans do wonder about. Very random things. And I don't know, maybe some Brits out there You can leave a comment and maybe shed some light on some of these things that we're just like, I don't know, we're out here wondering, like, we have no idea. But this was fun to kind of talk about and go through. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning about British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.